Developing tonight, the grandparents of a suspect are pleading for him to come out of the Federal Way home where he's been barricaded inside for nearly 12 hours. They are pleading for a peaceful ending tonight. This all started with a hit-and-run crash near Military Road and South 282nd Street.
Now, police say the suspect ran from the scene and into a home on 28th Avenue South where he has been holed up ever since. And that is where KIRO 7's Jessica O is live right now. Jessica, investigators just gave you an update with those grandparents nearby.
Yeah, Monique, we just got off the phone with Federal Way Police, and they tell us, while they cannot go into details at this time, that they are close to resolving this SWAT standoff. They tell us it's possible that the suspect has been shot, but again, we cannot confirm that at this time. We do know that for now, officers are still searching inside that home, hoping to find that suspect who has been barricaded in there for at least 12 hours.
I know he's down there. I just wish he would come out.
It's been hours since Miriam Foster's grandson broke into a Federal Way home, refusing to come out despite being surrounded by a SWAT team.
He just needs to go to jail and do his time and, get some help.
Police have tried just about everything to get the 36-year-old out of the house after detectives say he ran from a crash near Military Road and 272nd Street this morning. Detectives say he first tried hiding in Jennifer Cervantes' home.
My son calls me and says that somebody tried to break in our house and he saw the person saw him, made eye contact, so the guy left.
Then he successfully broke into Julie Hawking's house.
The guy is barricaded into our house right now, and now the SWAT team's here. His sister's cat's in the house, and we don't care about anything else. He can do whatever else he wants.
It was clear the suspect didn't want to give up. We heard flashbangs throughout the night as officers used cameras and canines to figure out what the suspect was up to. At one point, a SWAT officer walked out with injuries, which concerned this tight-knit neighborhood.
It sounded scary. We thought there was like bombs going off. It was pretty scary because it could have been any of our houses.
The suspect's family told us he has a drug problem. Now their only hope is that he comes out of this crime spree alive.
We love him, and he trusts us. I know he trusts us, and I just wish he'd come out.
And the grandparents also told us that 36-year-old suspect has been involved in a number of car thefts and burglaries in the past month or so. And as this standoff continues, we do want to let you know that our morning team is getting in place to continue our coverage. We will have live updates on this developing story starting 4:30 tomorrow morning. For now, live in Federal Way, Jessica O, KIRO 7 News.
And we'll go back out to Jessica if there are any developments during this newscast.
Breaking now in Federal Way, police say a standoff suspect has shot at police and they have returned fire.
Let's get back to KIRO 7's Jessica O. She is live at the scene with the breaking details. Jessica?
Monique, we just got off the phone with Federal Way Police who told us that this standoff has now resulted in an officer-involved shooting. They told us it wasn't long ago when that suspect actually started firing shots at surrounding SWAT team members who then fired shots back, striking that suspect. We can confirm that no officers were hurt as a result of this officer-involved shooting. At the same time, we do know that suspect was struck, but the injuries at this point are unclear right now. Investigators tell us that they are still in the process of trying to locate that suspect and extricate him from the home. This standoff, by the way, of course, has been ongoing since around 11:30 this morning. Roughly 12 hours later, it appears that investigators finally have some kind of resolution to this standoff. Again, we do know that a suspect was shot inside this home after all this time, but his condition at this point is unclear right now. We're working to get some more answers for you about what exactly unfolded in that home and how officers were eventually able to bring this to a resolution, and we'll make sure to keep you posted on KIRO7.com. But for now, reporting live in Federal Way, Jessica O, KIRO 7 News.
Breaking now, a live look in Federal Way where a hit-and-run suspect is holed up in a stranger's home, refusing to come out, and just moments ago we heard shots being fired. A neighbor just shared this picture of the extensive damage to that home as police have tried to get that man to come out. It's one of the big stories we've been tracking on our feeds tonight. Now, this standoff started with a hit-and-run just after 11:30 this morning. Coma's Tammy Mutasa live where neighbors have been forced out of their own homes for hours now. Tammy.
Morgan, just a few minutes ago, we heard what sounded like gunshots and then medic units rushing towards the house, and you can see it right now behind me. Now, this standoff has been going on for several hours now, and homeowners watched their home be destroyed, all because a suspect was barricaded inside the home here on 29th Avenue South. Flashbangs and flashing lights took over this quiet street while police and SWAT teams have been trying to get a hit-and-run suspect holed up inside a stranger's house. Homeowners watched as their home was shot at, rammed by SWAT trucks, and caught fire during the tense standoff. Federal Way police say the suspect had been involved in a hit-and-run crash at Military Road and 282nd South. Witnesses say he ran away and came to this street. A woman says the suspect first tried to break into her house, and her 16-year-old son came face-to-face with the suspect, so he called police. The suspect then broke into the homeowners across the street, where he's still refusing to leave.
That scares me to death. That I don't want to leave the house now. I mean, I can't leave my kids in broad daylight at home by themselves. They should be safe.
The guy is barricaded into our house right now, and now the SWAT team's here, so we don't know anything other than that. But we're more importantly worried about our cat.
Okay.
My sister's cat's in the house, and we don't care about anything else. He can do whatever else he wants.
And back out here live, you can see the medic unit here on 29th Avenue South. We're still waiting to find out if there is some sort of outcome or resolution at this hour, but we haven't heard an update yet from investigators. But we do want to say the suspect's grandparents were here at the scene, and they said if he was watching, they wanted him to do the right thing and surrender peacefully before anybody got hurt. Morgan, Mary, back to you guys.
Let's hope he does. Tammy, thank you. A standoff in Federal Way has just intensified in the last few minutes. I want to go right back now to Tammy Mutasa, live on the scene with the very latest. Tammy?
Hey, Morgan, I just got off the phone with Federal Way Police, and they do tell us that the suspect fired shots at officers and SWAT officers returned fire. Now, we were here just a short time ago when those shots rang out, and I want you to take a listen. What you're hearing are those shots that we heard just a few moments ago. Investigators are still trying to get the suspect out of that house. Now, they say he was holed up in a crawl space that's been difficult to get to, but the situation did intensify with what they're calling an officer-involved shooting. Now, this standoff has been going on for several hours. Federal Way police say that suspect had been involved in a hit-and-run crash at Military Road and 282nd South. Witnesses say he ran away and then came to this street. Before he went to this homeowner's house, he tried to break into another person's house where a 16-year-old boy found him and called police, and that's how this standoff situation started. Now, we are still trying to figure out what the resolution is going to be. Investigators are not telling us his condition. They say they don't know his condition, and right now they're still trying to get to the suspect to get him out of the house. And Morgan, as soon as we know more information, we will send that back to you guys.
All right, we'll be in touch. Tammy, thank you. Signs of improvement tonight as an 8-year-old boy recovers from being hit by a car. 8-year-old Marley Velasquez Gomez was blowing bubbles from his hospital bed today. Now let's go back to Live 15. In the last half hour, police have traded gunfire with a hit-and-run suspect who barricaded himself inside a stranger's home tonight. Police still don't know the suspect's condition, but they're still working to get him outside of that house. Our crew is remaining at that scene to gather any updates, and we'll have the very latest for you coming up on Como Morning News starting at 4:30 a.m. Thanks for joining us tonight.